Hello, my name is Drennan Kessinger, and I'm going to talk about the Internet of Things. So, just kind of a brief definition. The Internet of Things is a system of interrelated computing devices, mechanical and digital machines, objects, animals, or people that are provided with unique identifiers and the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human-to-human or human-to-computer interaction. So here's just a picture to help you kind of visualize what we're going to be talking about. So what does that definition mean in easier to understand terms? Well, basically, it's a bunch of things, anything you can think of: clothes, phones, computers are popular, cars, shoes, your coffee pot, your fridge, suitcase, anything, and it's is equipped with technology that allows it to store data, track data, and make decisions on that data, and it also allows you to control it through the internet. So, like, how does it work? Well, there's various sensors and microchips that will be placed within the quote-unquote thing, and these sensors and microchips will allow it to have internet connectivity, machine-to-machine communication, and it will also give it the ability to act on the data. So it's basically automating anything you could think of and giving you control of it. So kind of some interesting stats that I dug up. Forbes was doing some research on this, and they found that 87% of people have never even heard of this concept or this idea. ATMs are considered the first Internet of Things machines. So if you've ever used an ATM, you've been a part of the Internet of Things. And it's estimated that by 2020, roughly 250 million vehicles will be connected to the Internet of Things and self-automated. So, what kind of impact does this have? Well, for businesses, it's going to improve everything that a business takes part in. It's going to improve logistics, manufacturing, production, sales, marketing, pretty much everything. Revenue is going to go up, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. As far as people, it's going to simplify everyday life. It's going to give them much needed time in their busy days. It's going to make everything easier. It's going to make them safer. It's going to allow people to take better care of themselves, take better care of their kids, pets, loved ones, get better grades. It's going to allow people to do better in school. And then for the environment, this is really one of the few things in computer science, I guess you could say, that could really, really benefit the environment just because of empirical data. So some benefits, like we've talked about. It's going to simplify everything. Look, this picture with the farmer, he's got a tablet in the middle of his field, and one day the idea being that this farmer will take this tablet out there, and he'll be able to tell the amount of nutrients in the soil, how good the soil is, what his projected yield will be, how much rain he'll need, what weather is predicted for the season itself, and whether he should plant more, less, when he should harvest, things like that. All at the click of a button. 30 minutes a day, and he can check up on it and make decisions based off that. Safety and health. We'll be able to better diagnose injuries, diseases, illnesses, anything you can think of. It'll allow you to track your body better. It'll let you know what you need to work on. And then safety. It just provides a more potential for safer security systems, the ability to alert people quicker when there's a threat in the area, say a car robbery or a mugging. And then also just better decision making whenever you're buying a home, deciding where to go to school, vacations, buying a car. You're going to have all this data out there that's going to be processed and available to you to make these decisions. What are some downsides? That's a good question. It sounds great, but there are definite downsides. First of all, the quantity and complexity of this data. Like I said, everything that you can think of will be processing data. That means there's going to be a lot of data, and there's going to be a lot of data that we don't even know what it really means. Like, where does it come from? So it's going to be the job of people to understand this data and make sense of it. Also, security and privacy issues. Whenever everything is so automated and central and easy to control, it also means that if someone is able to gain control of that, then they can practically control your life. You know, if you're in a self-driving car and someone hacks into it, they now have control of what happens to you in that vehicle, potentially causing you harm. And then also increased e-waste. I thought this was interesting. So in computers, there's a bunch of rare metals and harmful chemicals that are involved in the manufacturing of these computers. And right now every person owns roughly 3.5 connected devices. It's projected to be 7 in 2020. We'll talk about that later. So the turnover for these devices is going to be so rapid because of the demand and the need for these devices that we're going to be throwing away all these precious rare metals and compounds, and also we're going to be throwing all of these dangerous harmful chemicals into the environment, and that poses potential risk. The Internet of Things that is in use already. So if you own a Nest thermostat, you're already using it. It's a thermostat. If you like it cool in the evening when you go to bed and warm in the morning when you wake up, like I do, you can make settings on the Nest that will control that. Also, the Fitbit will allow you to track your steps during the day, your heart rate. It basically allows you to, it sets goals. You can set goals for losing weight, and it allows you to keep track of those goals and helps you better attain them. In 2013, there were, which it seems like a small number, but 104,000 clothing items that were connected to the Internet of Things. These are basically shoes or shirts that have sensors in them that track how fast a person is running, their heart rate, how quick they're accelerating, how high they're jumping, all these things. And it's mostly used by athletes, but it allows them to enhance their performance. And currently, there are about 4.9 billion things connected to this Internet of Things. So in everyday life, how will these help you? Well, this picture shows a fridge telling a man to don't forget to buy milk when he's out. Well, essentially, refrigerators will be able to do this one day. They'll have sensors and they'll take weights of the fridge and everything, and you'll have programmed at what level of milk do you want the fridge to reorder milk and have milk delivered to your home. That will be a thing one day. Grocery lists going along with the fridge thing. Your pantry will read what is in your pantry, what you need, and you'll set this all up through settings, and it will automatically order for you. You know, the idea of morning alarms that when it goes off, your shower turns on, your coffee pot heats up, and your toaster begins toasting some bread. Things like that would save time. In the morning, that's an extra 10-15 minutes, which is huge for a lot of people. And as I mentioned, there will be about 7 devices per person by 2020. So in businesses are already using big data, and this is a big data on steroids. So essentially, businesses already want telephone numbers, website frequency, what products are you browsing, and once they have that, they've been able to market fairly effectively. But with all this, they will know exactly what everyone is doing at all times of the day because of all this data. This will allow them to market much more efficiently. Also, better logistics. Like a company like Amazon that offers 2-day shipping. Well, now they'll be able to better detect whether the best routes, whether it should be going by car or plane, which is more efficient, which will get it there faster, which will save money, things like that. That will just improve the flow of how things move. And then the larger breadth of control, when everything's more centralized, that allows the executives and people that are higher up in management to have more control because there's less things that they have to do. So this will allow them to be more hands-on. So this just kind of some infographics about what people expect with the Internet of Things. Here we see 12 billion mobile devices connected. That's insane. So the future of this, by 2020, the highest projection I saw was 50 billion connected devices. Transportation is going to be key with self-automated cars. No more gridlock, no more log jams, traffic. Cars will be able to move quicker because there's less risk involved. There's less user error. Productivity, companies are going to be able to produce products quicker and more efficiently and more time effective. They're going to be able to cut costs, therefore reducing price for consumers, and then also helping the environment. There was a study done, and they predict that if we hook street lamps up to the Internet of Things, we would be able to cut energy costs by 70 to 80%, basically eliminating energy costs. And really, that just kind of shows you how much impact this new world could have on the world we know today. And so, why is this all important? Well, at the end of the day, it's all about the well-being of people. And this is going to create a ton of jobs, and it's going to offer a ton of economic growth, which is going to help people. And the predicted $11 trillion impact that this will have on the market is massive. This will be a great influx of money, basically a bailout without the debt or without inflation. And this is just by 2020. Who knows what we'll see by 2050? So the potential is great, and it's exciting to see what will happen. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. And here are my sources.